This video is brought to you by Raycon True Wireless Earbuds. Stick around to hear more about them and also a special offer they're making available through my channel. Gamers, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're all too young for that reference. In fact, so am I. Anyway, it's been a big week in video games, or at least a big week for Sony, who held another one of their webinars. Let's skip the foreplay and get straight to the good stuff, shall we? Yes, Sony's much heralded PlayStation showcase happened this week, and Sony were keen to put on a good showing to help us all forget about that disastrous Horizon Forbidden West upgrade bullshit last week. You guys remember that? No, you don't, because Jim bamboozled you with Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok and whatever the fuck this is. This was another one of those super weird, kind of creepy, kind of cringe commercials that PlayStation has long been famous for. And while it was cool, it certainly doesn't hold a candle to the greatest PlayStation commercial of all time. OG Sony ponies know what I'm talking about. You guys think that's fake, don't you? But it's not, it's real. Look it up. Anyway, with the performance art out the way, it was time for the video games, and Sony kicked things off with style. The Knights of the Old Republic remake has long been rumoured, and it was confirmed to be in development at Aspyr, who in the past have ported the game to other platforms, including mobile. Well, the curtain has been pulled back and we got our first official reveal of the remake here. It was just a teaser, of course, just enough to wet our whistle, but it got us very, very wet indeed. Wait, what? This remake is a remake, not just a remaster, and you really have to wonder how far they're going to take things, because while the story, characters, and world of KOTOR are utterly perfect, the gameplay could definitely do with some updating. No word on that stuff yet. We do know that EA and BioWare are not involved, a detail confirmed by Jeff Keighley when he reached out to EA directly. That's weird-ish. Feels like they should have been involved at least a little, right? I don't know. Anyway, it's also coming to PC, which is nice, but it is, for now at least, a PS5 exclusive. That definitely sucks. Hopefully it's just timed. We got a look at Project Eve. Here's some gameplay. As you can see, it looks pretty wild. A lot of people are comparing it to Bayonetta and other character action games, and yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm also getting some Nier vibes here, owing to the setting, the soundtrack, and the apparent story focus. I think this looks really promising. No release date on this one yet. Gearbox's Tiny Tina's Wonderland got a gameplay reveal, and it looks nice. Basically, more Borderlands, but in a weird fantasy setting mashup, and hopefully with some better writing. Please, some better writing. I can't sit through another game of Borderlands 3 jokes. I just can't do it. Forspoken got a story and gameplay reveal trailer. Let's take a look at that.
Our land suffers. You are the only hope we have. Special.
So this is from Square Enix. It was previously called Project Athia, but it was revealed as Forspoken earlier this year. The outdoor exploration and traversal look fast and fluid. The combat looks meaty and full of spectacle, ticking all the right boxes there. What was revealed after this trailer went live, though, was that Forspoken is being written by Gary Whitta, the dude who wrote Star Wars Rogue One, aka the only modern Star Wars film that doesn't suck, and industry legend Amy Hennig, who is always credited as one of the co-creators and writers of the Uncharted franchise, which is true, but who cares about that, because she's also one of the co-creators and writers of the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver series, making her the certified GOAT. Hennig was working on a cancelled Star Wars project a while back, but since then spun off to do her own thing with her own studio. Amazing to see her in the mix on this title. Her involvement alone has immediately got me extremely hyped for this. No specific release date yet, but it's scheduled for sometime mid-next year. The Alan Wake remaster that was announced last week got a gameplay trailer here. It looks great. It's out on October 5th. And then it was on to the most exciting and unexpected reveal of the entire showcase.
Hello, Franklin.
What's up?
That's right, little-known indie gem Grand Theft Auto 5 is finally coming to next-gen consoles, promising massive improvements like... A new white strip on the top of the box. Seriously, Digital Foundry are going to have to hire an extra 100 temp staff and put them to work to try and find the differences between the current and next-gen version of this game. Spoiler alert, they won't find anything. It's the fucking Office meme in video game form. This will, of course, be a fully priced product with no free upgrade from the previous version to this version. When asked about why existing owners won't get a free upgrade, a Rockstar spokesperson responded,
"We just need money."
Ghostwire Tokyo got a meaty delay earlier this year, and people were a little worried about it. To set our minds at ease, we got a flashy trailer full of what looks like gameplay, but you can't be too sure. It looks like it could also be pre-rendered jazz. I don't know. We did get a release window announcement of sometime mid-next year. Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. It has been rumored that there was some sort of Uncharted 4 next-gen upgrade in the works somewhere, and it has now been confirmed. No word if there's going to be any sort of free upgrade for pre-existing owners, but with Sony being firmly committed to charging for upgrades, I'm gonna guess no. More interesting was the reveal that Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy will both be coming to PC courtesy of Iron Galaxy, who have earlier ported PC versions of Crash Insane Trilogy and Spyro Reignited. Sony have been gearing up for more and more PC releases, no doubt to compete with Xbox strategy of ensuring that every one of their first-party games also makes its way to PC. Whatever the reason, I love it. I played Horizon Zero Dawn on PC and it was amazing, except for the performance issues. Anyway, keep it up, Sony. Love to see it. You know what else you love to see? Yes, Insomniac faked us out hard with their logo splash, and we were all like, oh, here comes another Spider-Man game, and bam! Wolverine, baby! Been a while since this man had his time in the sun, what with the X-Men movies being on hiatus, Logan sort of wrapping up that storyline, and the MCU sucking all of the oxygen out of the superhero space. The time is right for this 4'9" ball of rage to make a return, and I cannot think of a better studio than Insomniac to lead the charge. We don't know anything about it yet other than it will be a full-size game, and it will have a mature tone. Wolverine can get pretty mature, so let's hope that Insomniac don't hold back. We've got some footage of Gran Turismo 7. It looks like a car game with lots of nice reflective surfaces. That is the extent of my knowledge and interest in most car games, but I will give this one a go when it launches next year on March 4th, PS4 and PS5. Insomniac weren't done messing with us. In addition to Wolverine, we got the reveal of Spider-Man 2 featuring Peter, Miles, and Venom. That's going to be great. No date on that one yet, but it is hitting in 2023. Sony saved the best for last, showcasing a gameplay reveal for God of War Ragnarok, which is now the title's official name as evidenced by this clip of God of War's previous game director Cory Barlog. I say previous because Cory has handed over the reins to one Eric Williams. Those are some big shoes to fill, and I wouldn't want to be trying them on. Cory and the rest of the Sony Santa Monica team are thrilled that Eric is leading the project, and you can tell they have a lot of trust in what he's doing, and that is great. The game itself looks incredible, but some are complaining that it looks too familiar, like a DLC. That's super weird to me. It's the second game in a trilogy, and it's starring a lot of the same characters, and it's in a lot of the same settings. Sequels do not need to look radically different to justify their existence. This was typified by one of the most boneheaded tweets I've ever seen, with this absolute clown complaining that the getting in and out of the boat animation has been reused in the sequel. Oh no! Lazy devs! Why the fuck didn't Kratos backflip into the boat? Pre-order cancelled! It was super satisfying to see this guy get so royally dunked. So that was the Sony showcase. High-level thoughts? This showcase reminds us that Sony is absolutely unrelenting in their desire to ship the best single-player AAA experiences on the market. These franchises, these characters, the studios that make them happen, this is what Sony have built over the last 20 years, and their track record during the PS4 era speaks for itself. There's no signs of things slowing down here, and while PlayStation may not have Game Pass, there are still many, many reasons why owning a PS5 is a very good idea. Now, if only people could buy a PS5, that'd be great. Outside of Sony's showcase, there was one other piece of Sony news. Apparently, Twisted Metal is making a comeback. The news comes from GamesBeat journalist Jeff Grubb, who reported the news during a Giant Bomb show saying, quote, "I think Twisted Metal is in the works, but it may still be a ways off. So I think we're early, but either way, it does seem like it's in the works. It does seem that it's coming. It does seem like it's not going to involve David Jaffe. David Jaffe is, of course, the creator of the Twisted Metal series, but has long since left Sony and is working with other studios at the moment. The new game is a tie into the Twisted Metal TV show that they're making, and was announced back in 2019, and I don't know why we need a Twisted Metal TV show, but I guess that's a thing that's coming. It wasn't only Sony news this week, of course, plenty of other stuff went down as well, like how about that Apple versus Epic trial? Good news, both of them lost. The ruling came this week and it did not break how either company would have liked. Long story short, Epic was trying to say that Apple was a monopoly and was abusing its power to squeeze developers on their platform. And they wanted to be able to provide alternative payment methods on there so they could bypass Apple's 30% cut and rake in more money from 12-year-olds buying V-Bucks. Apple was like, nuh-uh, and just wanted to keep all their money and didn't want to allow additional payment methods and didn't want to put Fortnite back on their store. The judge was like, finally, my chance to become Solomon. The judge cut the baby in half, ruling that Apple had to start allowing alternate payment methods on their platform, but they also didn't have to reinstate Epic's developer license since Epic knowingly violated Apple's terms of service. Epic has to pay a pretty small sum to Apple for lost revenue, but they also lose a lot more money because they can't put any of their games back on the iOS. Similarly, Apple could lose billions from this if enough apps start using alternative payment methods. This ruling was disastrous for both companies, and most onlookers are pretty happy with that. Let's get a quick update on Bayonetta 3 now. There is no update on Bayonetta 3 now. This game was announced back in 2017 and we've not seen it since then. Even with COVID messing things about, that's a long time to wait and more than a few people are concerned at this point. Like, what the hell is going on? Is everything okay? Platinum have repeatedly assured everyone that, yeah, everything's fine. And they did that again this week when they said they were very proud of where the game is, but they're not quite ready to show it yet, or they can't show it yet. Some people took this to mean that Nintendo were holding them back from this, but that's not necessarily what they meant. It could be that, but it could also just be a case of the game is not ready to be shown yet, which, yeah, would make people worried. Hopefully, we see something soon. One weird piece of related news is that Platinum would be open to porting Star Fox Zero to Switch. They co-developed the game when it released back on the Wii U in 2016, and people really did not like that game very much. It's rare that Nintendo missed with its flagship releases, and this one was a very big miss by most metrics. It's kind of weird that Platinum, with all its talent and resources, would be talking about resurrecting a port for a game that no one really wants ported. Yeah, I really hope everything's going okay over at Platinum. One game we know that's not doing okay is everyone's favorite superhero-shaped punching bag, Marvel's Avengers. This week, the developers released a roadmap detailing the exciting future for the game. What did it contain? Let's do a quick tour. Here's the stuff that's already out. Here's some recycled content. Here's the box with all the cosmetics you'll be able to purchase. Here's the only new superhero arriving, Spider-Man, a PlayStation exclusive. That exclusive deal was cursed when they announced it prior to launch, and it feels especially cursed here when nestled among a roadmap completely devoid of content. There's not even a consolation event for PC and Xbox players. It's just bad luck, sorry you paid the same price as PlayStation users but got a shittier version, don't forget to buy our cosmetics. The roadmap was so bleak that it led PC Gamer to run the headline, Marvel's Avengers needs to be put out of its misery. God damn, that is a headline. And it is tough, but it is fair. It is time to move on, Square Enix. Let Crystal Dynamics run free so they can get to work on that Soul Reaver remake that we've all been begging for. Don't make me tap the sign. So, what came out last week? Well, first up, there was Vampire the Masquerade BLOODHUNT, the Battle Royale game set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe. It's fast, it's fluid, the map is fun, the combat and takedowns are satisfying, firm handshakes all round. The problem is that on the PC, the game installs something called Anti-Cheat Expert, which is a kernel-level anti-cheat solution, meaning that it digs itself really deep into your PC. A number of people are complaining about performance drops after installing this. Some are reporting that you can no longer install other programs since this anti-cheat is blocking it, and many people are just uncomfortable with any software having that much control over your PC. As a result, the game is currently sitting at 66% mixed on Steam, with nearly 7,000 reviews counted. Not exactly where you want to be on the launch weekend of your free-to-play title. Life is Strange True Colors hit a bunch of platforms last week, and it's reviewed extremely well. It's sitting at around the mid-80s critic score on Metacritic, and an 87% positive on Steam. Destructoid scored it a 90, saying, quote, "Sure, parts of Life is Strange True Colors are really bleak, but ultimately it's an uplifting, heartfelt story about what it means to find your own version of home," end quote. While GameSpot scored it a 70, saying, quote, "Dropping by Haven Springs is still time well spent, but it's simply a pleasant visit rather than a powerful, emotionally resonant one," end quote. EA's Lost in Random arrived last week, and I just can't help but feel like they did this one really dirty. Absolutely no marketing whatsoever. No one is talking about this. EA just sent it out into the market with a firm pat on the backside like, go get 'em, Tiger, and that was it. It's a shame because it's reviewed well, around 80 critic score on Metacritic and 83% mostly positive on Steam. Oz Gamers scored it an 80 saying, quote, "The characters, the dialogue, the discoveries, the animation, the voice acting, the music, the presentation, it all comes together wonderfully. A game well worth taking a chance and rolling the dice on," end quote. My mentions have been flooded this week with people just gushing over Tales of Arise, and it's so good to see it. This has been such a fantastic year for JRPGs, and Arise keeps that rolling, scoring in the high 80s on Metacritic and 92% very positive on Steam. The game was so successful on PC that it now holds the record for the highest ever concurrent player count for a JRPG on Steam, with over 60,000 concurrent players. Previous to this, that record was held by Monster Hunter Stories 2, which peaked at 34,000 players. Japanese publishers are looking at this data like, what? People on PC like JRPGs? What the hell? Yes, they always have. And if you just port your games to PC and you don't half-ass the port, you are going to make more money. 2021 really feels like a tipping point for JRPGs on the PC, and hopefully the head honchos in Japan are paying attention. Finally, WarioWare Get It Together arrived on the Switch to middling reviews. It's sitting at the mid-70s on Metacritic. VG247 scored at an 80 saying, quote, "WarioWare Get It Together is unabashedly Nintendo, fulfilling its mission statement to the letter with alarming precision, but also not rocking the boat very much at all," end quote. While IGN scored at a 70 saying, quote, "It's a shame that Get It Together's multiplayer options somewhat dropped the ball though. Enough for an evening or two of laugh out loud with friends, but lacking the staying power for many more beyond that," end quote. So what's coming out this week? Well, first up, biggest release of the week is the highly anticipated and highly marketed DEATHLOOP. Previous Arcane masterpieces like Dishonored and Prey only achieved their status long after launch, leading many to lament, oh, if only Bethesda had marketed them better. Well, to make up for that, Bethesda and Sony are marketing the ever-living shit out of this game, to the point where many are just over it and hostile, and they're just spam downvoting any new DEATHLOOP trailer they see. That's a big shame, because the reviews came out and they are spectacularly good, with many publications scoring at 9 out of 10, some even 10 out of 10. Reviewers at least, absolutely love this game. I think the fatigue associated with the marketing of this title will dissipate when people get their hands on it and realize what has been public knowledge for a long time now. Arcane just don't miss. Sadly, this is exclusive to the PS5 and PC. Yes, Microsoft owns Bethesda, but they are honoring the previously signed PlayStation exclusive deal. Hopefully it arrives on the Xbox in future. Skatebird! Just take a look at some gameplay of this. Now, you're going to tell me you're not interested in this, really? You're going to tell me you don't want to be a pigeon wearing a cool hat or headphones, flapping your wings as you pull off sick 900s? I didn't think so. I don't know where the idea for this came from, but I'm all in. Sadly, just as Xbox owners are left out in the cold on DEATHLOOP, PlayStation fans are missing out on Skatebird since it arrives on Xbox, PC, and the Switch on the 16th. ARAGAMI 2 arrives for the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC on the 17th. It's a classically inspired third-person stealth game. It has a real Dishonored vibe going for it, with a big focus on vertical, traversal, teleporting, and quick takedowns. The first one reviewed really well. People were fans of its simple, focused stealth gameplay, and this one seems to expand on the formula in every way. Finally, Ni no Kuni 2 arrives for the Switch on the 17th. I played this back in the day on PlayStation or whatever, and I didn't finish it, but I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The characters, the art style, the voice acting, the combat. I dipped only because it's very long, but the 30 or so hours I spent with it was so good, and this would feel right at home on the Switch. Do take a look and pick it up if you're into JRPGs or Ghibli or both. Put this on your radar. Webbed is a game about being a spider. You're not fighting a giant spider, you are the spider. You aren't a Spider-Man who needs web fluid cartridges and his lame-ass web shooting bracelets. What a pussy. No, if you need web, you make it with your butt. And then you use that web to traverse 2D levels, eat flies, and avoid getting eaten by apex predators, aka birds. Being a spider game, there's only one place that this could have been made. That's right, Australia. Spiders are kind of our thing. The other day I woke up with a spider in my bed and I was like, oh hey, there's another spider in my bed. Anyway, what's for breakfast? That's how we Aussies roll with spiders, okay? They're just part of our lives down here. Like you Americans and Europeans have dogs and cats and apple pie and weird cheese. We have spiders. So if anyone's gonna nail a spider game, it's us. and also probably Insomniac. Queensland-based S-Bug Games stepped up to the plate on this one and delivered handsomely, since the game has been out for nearly a week now and everyone is loving it. I typically use this block to profile upcoming games, but honestly, I just missed this one. I had no idea this existed until I saw it on Twitter, and there was no way I was going to pass up the opportunity to shine a light on this one. It's out now on Steam, it's like $10 US or something, it's self-published by the devs, check it out, throw them a few bucks, appease the spider gods. One purchase equals one less spider in your bathroom. I'll leave a link to the Steam page below. Sort of free stuff time. It's mid-month, which means there isn't a whole lot to talk about. Your monthly PS Plus, Games with Gold, Game Pass, and Twitch Prime stuff is all well and truly out at this point, so be sure to check those out if you haven't yet. New additions for this week come courtesy of Epic. Apple served them a big L in the lawsuit, but Epic keeps serving us big W's in the free games department. Right now you can get your hands on Sheltered, which is a lot like Fallout Shelter, but more robust. And a surprise entry for this week was Nioh the Complete Edition. Now, this went live after I did last week's episode, and it was slotted into the lineup for reasons unknown. It was just like, hey, have this amazing game and all its DLC for free, I guess. I haven't actually finished all of Nioh, I just played the opening section, but I did play through and finish Nioh 2, and I absolutely loved that. The combat system in that game is the deepest and broadest of any Souls-like combat I've experienced. I know that's going to trigger a lot of FromSoft fans, but for real, the combat system they've built here is just insane. It's some of the best third-person melee combat ever, with a skill ceiling that is completely off the charts. If you haven't checked the series out yet, I really recommend grabbing this and diving in before it disappears on the 16th. On the 17th, Epic gets a new lineup. First cab off the rank is Speed Brawl, which is a momentum-based 2D platformer. This was meant to be the free game on Epic a few weeks back, but it got pulled at the last minute. It's back now, hopefully, and yeah, it looks fun. The other free offering is Tharsis, a dice-based survival game released back in 2016. Your astronauts are stranded in space, and if you're going to make it to Mars, you're going to have to fix your shit. Most of that comes down to a roll of the dice, so it isn't as much about skill as it is just having a laugh with your friends, because yes, this is co-op. If you have some friends to play with, or if you're just like me and you like adding games to your Epic library that you know you will never play, then grab this. Finally, our feel-good story of the week comes courtesy of my favorite gaming scam running right now, Star Citizen. If you haven't been keeping tabs on Star Citizen, recall that it first began crowdfunding 8 years ago. That was the year Fast and the Furious 6 came out. Vin Diesel has given us 4 cinematic masterpieces before Chris Roberts could release one video game. During that time, Star Citizen has been sending around the collection plate more often than a Catholic mass on Christmas Day, fundraising an eye-watering $350 million without any part of their game being even close to released. The core fundraising strategy is, and this is true, selling stuff that doesn't exist yet. Star Citizen regularly spams its mailing list with limited time offers to purchase spaceships that aren't even in the game yet. They're just concept ships that may make it into the game one day if you're lucky. One Redditor by the name of Matzy had jack of it, saying he was, quote, fed up of CIG and the constant lies. Wow, dude, it really took you 8 years to get there. Anyway, he complained to the Advertising Standards Authority that CIG didn't make it clear enough that these ships were just concept ships, and you were essentially buying a worthless promise that they would one day be implemented. The ASA agreed and ordered CIG to amend all future advertising. Now CIG's mailer includes a big-ass disclaimer that makes clear that their products don't exist. It reads, quote, this means that the vehicle is in development, but it's not yet ready to display in our hangar or fly in Star Citizen. It will be available as playable content in a later patch. In the future, the vehicle price may increase and lifetime insurance or any extras may not be available. I love that their last note here is that the price is probably going to go up. These people have taken $350 million and it's still not enough. CIG cannot breathe without asking for more cash. I cannot wait for the Wolf of Wall Street movie they make about this game one day. It's gonna be the best. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the week in video games. I'm working on a few reviews at the moment, one of which will be live this week on Thursday. Not allowed to say what it is yet, but if you're interested in that or more of this show, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and ding that notification bell. Last favor to ask, if you stuck around to the end, I'd love it if you gave the video a thumbs up. It's a big help. The algorithm gods love it. It's good karma. Everyone's a winner. So, you know, think about it. Thank you all for being here, and a big thank you to this week's sponsor, Raycon. Ladies and gentlemen, we're stuck here in lockdown in Sydney, but there was a time when I could go outside. God, those were good times. Sunshine, parks, Crowded bus rides with the sweet smell of armpit everywhere. God, I miss that smell. And with me, wherever I went, were my trusty Raycon wireless earbuds. Small, versatile, and very, very well priced. They are literally half the price of other earbuds you've heard about, and the quality is just as good or better, and the battery life goes the distance as well. Raycon's newest model, the Everyday Earbuds, are the best ones yet, with 32 hours of battery life, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a range of custom gel tips for both comfort and to ensure a nice noise isolating fit. Christmas is coming up fast, and it's time to start thinking about gifts. What if you could give people the gift of sound in their ears, without wires? Wires bad. Best of all, Raycons come with a free 45-day returns policy, so don't take my word for it. Try them for yourself, and if you aren't happy, you will get your money back. Easy. To get 15% off your order, click the link in the description below or visit buyraycon.com/skillup. Thanks Raycon for sponsoring the video, and thank you for watching it. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down so I know to do better for next time. If you enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing, and if you really enjoyed yourself, maybe consider hitting that notification bell so you never miss a video. You can see my patrons here on the left. They're awesome. They're amazing. If you want to join them, check out my Patreon page. Thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.